lovelies, welcome back to my channel where we talk all things makeup, especially tutorials. In today's video, I'm going to be covering this basic eyeshadow look for beginners. So if you want to see how I do it, it's easy as 1, 2, 3, then just keep on watching. Okay, I've got you zoomed in here so that you can see my eyes a little bit closer, but also see the rest of my face because that really does matter when we're applying eyeshadow, especially if you have hooded eyes like I do. All you're going to need are 3 brushes, okay? These, the ones that I'm going to be showing you here are 3 Rephr brushes. And the reason that you only need 3, like I said, it's easy as 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 3 easy steps so that any beginner can do this eye look, okay? We all start somewhere. So the first one that I have is this fluffy brush, okay? Mine's got some pink on it just because it's a little bit stained. But fluffy as in like, you know, it's round and it's not very dense, and you can just really get in there and be able to blend with this one. The second one is a smaller blending brush, and something like this one is going to be able to get in smaller corners. The next one is called a shader brush that I have here. Now this shader brush is going to be really good for packing on color and doing that on the lid. So we'll get into how each 3 of these brushes are very handy for creating an easy eye look. Now you can grab whatever eyeshadow palette you want. I've used those little 4-pan Maybelline ones. You know, L'Oreal has some really good ones. I'm going to be using just a 4-pan Colourpop. This is Dare to Bear. Let me open it up here. And I'm going to be doing a very neutral look. So again, you can do this with whatever color you want, whatever browns that you have on hand, or if you like cool tones, you know, go for it. I'm going for a very neutral brown to show you how to do this. Okay, so before we get into this, I like to prime my eyelids, and I specifically like to use a little bit of concealer because it cancels out all of the discoloration on my eyelid from veins. Gonna come in and spread that around. And the reason that we're not doing the rest of our face first is because if we, you know, get out of the lines or anything like that, it's gonna be really easy to take care of that afterwards. So next we want to set that concealer with a little bit of powder just so that our eyeshadow can blend a lot easier and so that our concealer does not crease. You want to use patting motions. Okay, so we're going to dip into the pan here and we're just going to tap the excess off, okay? And the reason that we tap the excess off is because you can always go in with more color, but if you accidentally get too much color on that eyeshadow brush, it's really going to make it hard to blend, and when you put it on, it's going to make this big dot on your eye rather than being able to blend it all. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look straight in the mirror. I'm not going to look up, I'm not going to look down, and I'm not going to close my eyes or anything like that. You can start doing some of those techniques once you're a little bit further along and you have some more skill, but first we're going to look just straight on, okay? Not opening our eyes wide or squinting or anything like that. And I'm going to bring my brush just straight towards my eye, okay? I'm going to go above my crease, not in my crease, otherwise it's going to get hidden because of that hood, right? So we're going to go above the crease. And I'm not coming all the way out to the corner of my eye. Otherwise, that's going to bring the eyeshadow too far out and it's going to drag down my eyes and make them look very tired and heavy. So I'm going to actually come in a little bit from the corner of my eye and above my crease. And from here, I'm going to do what's called windshield wiper motions, right? When you're driving a car and it's raining and you turn on your windshield wipers and they're wiping away the water so that you can see, that's what we're referring to, okay? So back and forth. Go as slow or as fast as you want. You can sit here and blend this all day, okay? You can also dip back in. Make sure you always tap off that excess. And then you can just come back in and windshield wiper motions. Okay, another blending technique that you can do is circular. That does take a little bit more technique, but I'll show you how to do it. Sometimes, not really technique, it takes a little more hand-eye coordination. Whereas the windshield wiper motions, you can do it without thinking. Because if you're doing it in circular motions, you have to make sure you stay small and make sure that you're not going too high, too low, too far out with your circles. So that's why it takes a little more hand-eye coordination. Also, if you notice, I'm grabbing the end of my brush here, not here, because if I do that, I'm going to be pushing really hard and I'm going to really put that color in there and I'm just going to apply too much. So if you go to the end of your brush, that's going to give you the most control. Okay, we are artists here. We're painting with our brushes. So you can do a mixture of windshield wiper motions, circular, whatever you want. So now we've got the first eye done and you can tell the difference. It's just a subtle hint of shade above my crease right there. And it opens up my eye a little bit more. It does give my eyelid a little bit more space. I dip back into that pan. Now what I'm gonna do, especially for hooded eyes and beginners, is that I'm gonna angle my brush down towards my nose, okay? And kind of like my eyebrow and my nose, trying to meet them. And I'm gonna slightly close my eye, maybe all the way if you can. And again, I'm not coming all the way out to the corner of my eye. I'm gonna come into the corner a little bit because as I blend, it's gonna make its way out that way, and that's okay. It's gonna be less product out there. So I'm going to tap first. The reason I tap instead of windshield wiper motions or circular motions is that that is going to apply the product the most in that tapping motion. And then so I'm just putting that color down, and you can put as much or as little as you want. And I'm gonna start close to my eyelash line down here and then work my way up. Because if I just start in that corner there, it's gonna put all of that color there, which is fine if that's the look that you're going for. But we want to start bringing the color here and then blend up to where we've already got that color so it can meet. So I just tap, tap, tap. And as you add more color, you can see that it's starting to darken up that corner more than up in the crease. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take it a step further. So we're going to take our next shader brush, our really little one, okay, and we're going to dip into the next dark color. And I'm going to dip into this one. And it only takes a teeny tiny bit of this one, of any dark color. And then what we're going to do, again, look straight, and I'm going to kind of go between my crease and above my crease. And then again, in from the corner a little bit, not too far out, in from the corner just a little bit, and then I'm gonna tap it in. Tap it where you want it to be first, and then you can kind of blend it. You can do little windshield wiper motions, you can do a little circular. You're really gonna wanna do a mixture of all three. Of tapping, and I'm also kind of bringing it into my crease just a little bit so that it blends it all together rather than having two very stark colors on my eyes, okay? And the reason that we started with our lighter color first and then moved to our darker one is that it's a lot easier to blend out. So then you're not putting too much on. So now you can see I've got this really nice shade going on my eye. The two colors are blending together. They're not too separate, but yet there is a little bit of difference. You can see the starkness, or not quite starkness, but blended starkness from the corner to the crease of my eye. Now the last step is we're going to take our shader brush it's flat, okay, so that we can pack on all that color. And I'm going to grab my lightest color here, and I'm just going to kind of swipe into the pan. So I've got some color. Again, tap off that excess. And then here you can actually close your eye. We're going to start from the most inner corner of my eye because that's where I want the lightest part of my eye to be. Lightest part of my eyeshadow to be. And then I'm going to blend, tapping out to my darker colors. So the reason that we are putting the lighter color on the inside and the darker on the out is the lighter is going to help open and brighten our eye, whereas the darker is going to try and hide. And there you have it. You have your easy 1, 2, 3 step, which is 3 brushes eye look that you can do for any eye shape. I know this was, I talked a lot about hooded eyes, but you can do this for any eye shape. And again, you can do windshield wiper motions, you can do circular motions, you can do tapping motions to get whatever blend that you want, and you can do this with any color. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the other side so that you can see, again, every step that I did. Both eyes done, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. Okay, now that we have all of our face done, blush, bronzer, powder, foundation, concealer, all of it, now we're going to do just one last little thing, okay? This is just to take your eyeshadow look up just a notch if you want to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our big fluffy brush, okay, if you remember this guy, and we're going to take our mid-tone brown. We're going to dip just the end in, just slightly, just barely tap it in there, okay? Tap it off, and then we're going to pinch it, okay? Pinch it, and then you can run that along the bottom part of your eye, just in that like last kind of outer third part of your eye, and this just ties it all together and gives you just a little bit more definition in the corner of your eyes, again, to open them up, brighten them up. I hope you enjoyed this video of this basic eyeshadow look for beginners. Let me know if you want to see a part 2 of this where I do a full step-by-step makeup tutorial of the entire face. Let me know if you want to see a part 3 where we put it all together. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed this content of this beginner-friendly eyeshadow look. Subscribe if you want to see more awesome content like this for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!